feel like I can't see everybody. And like no one can see me. You know, at 5'2" something and a half, that's something you think about. You know, I think it's just awesome that we meet here today, that we gather to honor that day when the shot that was heard around the world was fired. Those 77 patriots that came together to stand shoulder to shoulder, to stand up for their rights, set the foundation for a country that would stand for nothing less than patriots standing shoulder to shoulder, side by side, to fight for those God-given rights that we all love and cherish. 11 of those people were injured. 8 of them lay dead at the end of that confrontation. But what I want to talk to you about today, as we honor those from our past, are those patriots that we stand with today. We live among many, many unsung patriots who will never have their name in a history book. They'll never have their name on a plaque. But they are patriots in the truest form of the word. We have patriot brothers and sisters who stand shoulder to shoulder to fight for the needs of our disabled children. Parents who advocate daily for their children and their needs, who advocate for the use of something as simple as CBD oil to ease the pain and suffering of their children. We have legislators who have spent years fighting for that right, for our families to be able to use something as simple as that oil to take care of their families. We have gun rights organizations that fight continually to preserve your right to defend and protect your family, and not only to defend and protect against those individuals who would do you harm, but the ability to defend and protect against a government who has gone tyrannical. 3 years before the shot was heard around the world, search and seizure for guns that were thought to be held by the Patriots was undertaken. That was the springboard. That was part of that an unfair tax that made it so that our Patriot brothers and sisters long ago knew they had to take action, and they did. Today we have state and national organizations that fight daily for your right, once again, to be able to defend and protect yourself. This year, we were able to pass into law, will be effective July 1st, House Bill 206. It was not only just the work of many tireless hours of legislators inside the building, but there were patriots who stood shoulder to shoulder with us, inside and outside of that building, making phone calls, sending emails, coming personally to the Capitol to testify, visiting with their legislators on a daily basis to ensure that this would take place, to let those legislators know that this is what the people wanted and that the people would stand for nothing less. We had citizens come to the Capitol daily to fight against Marcy's Law, a constitutional amendment that would have infringed upon the rights of every citizen in the state of Idaho. Not initiated by the citizens of the state of Idaho, but by interests outside of the state of Idaho. We had patriots and legislators here every day that fought against that stood shoulder to shoulder as patriot brothers and sisters to protect and defend our God-given rights. We have liberty-minded legislators who stay in contact with the people that they serve all year long, not just when they're in session. They send out newsletters. They travel thousands of miles at thousands of dollars of their own personal expense to be able to hear the voice of the people that they represent. We need more of them. We have a lieutenant governor who stands shoulder to shoulder with us. She's not afraid to be seen. She's not afraid to stand with our patriot groups. We need more people like our lieutenant governor in office. We had citizens this year who showed up at the Capitol to testify for the rights of parents to know that whether you agree with the principle of vaccinations or not, they should not be compulsory, and that parents should know. We had people, citizens, who traveled thousands of miles to testify that Child Protective Services should have to inform families when they knock on their door in the dark of night of their right to not let them in, of their right to not have them question their children without legal counsel available or to question them at all. We have people and legislators who have fought and tried to introduce the Abortion Human Act right. If we are a citizenry that cannot defend the most defenseless of us, what do we have? Who are we when we will allow the murder of those most defenseless and smallest among us? We have citizens and legislators who have stood shoulder to shoulder to make sure that that voice is heard, to make sure that that voice is fought for. And we'll do it again next year, and we'll continue to do it until that voice is heard. And those tiny babies, those little figures who rest in the security of their mother's wombs, are protected and watched over and safe in the state of Idaho, if nowhere else. Now, I also would like to say that it's not lost on me that today, Patriots Day, falls on Good Friday. The ultimate sacrifice for the liberty of mankind was made in the Garden of Gethsemane and sealed on the cross in Golgotha. That man, that human, that brother of each and every one of us, sealed our future with his blood. And today he still stands shoulder to shoulder with us to help us have the strength to ensure our rights, to be patriots, to be citizens of this great country that was set forth at this time to be that place in this world where our rights and liberties would be preserved and protected. So as we close today, as we go to our homes to celebrate the rest of this Easter weekend, to celebrate our state, to celebrate our patriots, past and present, the blood that has been shed for the liberty and the truth and the righteousness of all people everywhere around the world. Let us be grateful. Let us be grateful that we have those that are willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with us, those who are willing to sacrifice time, to sacrifice prison, to sacrifice money. Those of us today and in the past who are not afraid to pledge our fortunes and our sacred honor and what we have to ensure those God-given rights and freedoms that are afforded to all of us by our Creator.